So good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, thanks for coming for my session. I understand this session is straight after lunch, and I'll try and keep it a bit interesting. So today I'm going to talk to you about building modern BI solutions using SQL Server Reporting Services 2016. Sorry, it's such a big title, but I'll cut short SQL Server Reporting Services to SSRS. Great. So before we go inside the presentation, I just want you to get to know about me a bit. So I'm Anu, working as a solutions architect for Meridian Energy Limited. So Meridian is basically a utilities-based company. And what it really means is, in simple terms, we generate power and we sell power. So working at Meridian, I'm more really passionate about using technologies, not about just playing with technologies, is how do I use technologies to solve complex business problems? Because that's where I could see I myself add value for my business users. So reporting services, why it is important for us? Because our business users are passionate about data. So anything that they do or any decisions that they make, it's all about based on data. And data is important for them, but how they visualize the data is also equally important for them. So just a quick question, like how many of your organizations use at least 2 or more of these reporting tools? Just raise your hands. Great, I'm not surprised because we were in the same boat. So we were predominantly using most except for Microsoft products. And that's the interesting factor. So if I recollect, like 2 years back when Office 2013 was released, we were quite excited, especially around the plugins that was released with Office 2013. Like if you remember, like the Power View, Power Pivot, Power Query. So when it came around, like straight away we knew like Power View will be an interesting tool for our business users so that they can start drilling down and start looking at the data in different ways and visualize it in different ways. But as I said, like we were using everything other than Microsoft products. So how do I go about telling the business, saying like, okay, there is one more reporting tool I want to add it to your existing stack? So it wasn't an easy job as an architect for me. If I want you to take one particular message out of this session, this is what it's going to be. So consolidating all your enterprise reporting using SSRS 2016. And that's what this session is more or less about. Like, hopefully I will convince you by the end of this session, but this is the one key message I would like you to take back to your enterprise and think like why SSRS 2016 will be the right product for your enterprise. A bit about the agenda, what I'll be covering in this session. Why SSRS 2016? Why I'm so confident saying like it's a right tool for your enterprise. And this is also sharing about my practical experiences, what I used in my organization. So it's not about like, first thing is I don't work for Microsoft, let me make that clear. So I'm not here doing a sales job, it's more about sharing my personal experience working back in my organization. The next thing is around looking at the new features that has been in SSRS 2016. If SSRS 2016 hasn't been released, I wouldn't have done this presentation 2 years ago. The reason for that is like some of the features which our business users were looking for, it wasn't in the product and back in 2014, but I can confidently come and do this presentation now because in Microsoft have addressed it in 2016. Along with that, they also have a strong roadmap. The last one I want to touch upon is about how your business users can get data-driven insights using SSRS 2016. So why SSRS 2016? So immediately 3 things come to my mind why we were thinking about choosing SSRS 2016. First thing is its hybrid capability. So if you look at Microsoft strategy, it's cloud first, mobile first. So whatever they do, they target the cloud and mobile, but it doesn't mean they forget about the enterprise. So on-premises is something they also care about, but they give the first preference to cloud and mobile, but predominantly those features, whatever they are releasing there, also gets incorporated in the enterprise product. And the hybrid nature is what I really like about. So we can start on premises, and then it allows us to move things to the cloud subsequently. So we don't need to rush and put everything onto the cloud, or it's going to be really hard for us to go back and justify that. But what it allows us to do is like, okay, let us target on premises first, get the users using these products on premises, and then it automatically will give us the way, like if we want to move a certain part of the data sets to the cloud and leverage the reporting on the cloud, we can still do that with this hybrid capability. The next thing is the strong reporting roadmap from Microsoft. As I said, like when 2014 was released, we went back to the business and they said, the predominant answer I used to get for why are we not using Microsoft products from a reporting and analytics perspective is it can't do what we are asking it to do. So the other reporting products can do it, but Microsoft products couldn't do it. But once those we exposed to the plugins of Excel 2013, and also we also emphasized on the strong roadmap which Microsoft had, along with the features that they were trying to put into 2016, the business along came for a journey with us. So they understood like, okay, this is where they are going. The updates are not going to take years and years. It is going to be more frequent. New features will be coming, and we can easily adopt to that. The third one is around user-friendly reporting tools. So our business users are really savvy, and I hope everyone's business users will be the same. So they don't want to wait for IT to develop every single report what they need. They want to have tools that will help them. They can go back and generate the reports in the quick time frame without much of training. And with the reporting tools that Microsoft have released, so the learning is not going to be really complex. We just had to give them an intro session, like 1 hour or a couple of hours. That's it, and it allows them to get going. So these are the 3 key points, I would say, like why we really chose SSRS 2016, and we thought like it is a good pathway for us to get into this stack. So let us get into some of the new features of SSRS 2016. So what I'm going to cover today is not about the features of 2014. It's more about like, I'll just say like these features already existed in 2014, but these are the enhancements they have done in 2016. So is that okay, or how many of the people in the audience already knew about 2014? Okay, great. So I'll touch upon a few things where I have to cover about 2014 too. But the exciting stuff is in 2016. For people who have used 2014, they would really know how horrible was that portal was. So the look and feel of the portal is something I can't go back and convince my business users. I was struggling to convince that to them. And the next thing is it is really tied with Internet Explorer. So which means like trying to use that across different browsers is always a problem. And you can't just go and say to them, our standard policy is using Internet Explorer. They'll have Chrome, they'll have Firefox, but we need to support these browsers. And also thinking about now mobile devices are everywhere. So we need to support that platform also. So that's with SSRS 2016, they have completely rebuilt, Microsoft have redeveloped the portal. So it's built ground up using HTML5, which means it's responsive across all the modern web browsers. After looking at the portal stuff, the next thing every organization will be looking for is, okay, how about the branding? So I want to change the colors, I want to add the logo, and it has to be customizable because every organization spends a lot of money in their personal branding, and if they can't even incorporate that in their reports, then it's not going to solve their problem. With the new portal, it's easy to update the branding. So it's just a couple of files, and which I'll show you through the demo session. Just a few files. You can update the logo, you can change the colors, and you can apply the branding quite easily. Search and categorization. This is an important feature, the next important feature, which is you may have hundreds of reports, and how easy it is for you to find them and categorize them. So what the portal allows you to do is basically you can create folders. And so if you have subject area related reports, you can create those subject areas as folders, and then you can categorize those reports inside that. Or if you decide like I want to put all the reports in one bucket, still the search feature is going to be helpful. You can search for the report and quickly get the results and access the report. This is the key one, mobile reports. How many of you heard about DataZen in the audience? Great, quite a few. So DataZen is a company which Microsoft acquired last year, back in April 2015, if I remember that correctly. So what that product allows us to do was creating mobile reports. The good thing Microsoft did was acquiring that company at the right time, and that really helped us because if we didn't know like Microsoft was going to support reporting like the mobile reports, probably we would have ended up with other products. So even though it wasn't part of reporting services at that time, it's a standalone product. What it allowed us to do is start building mobile capable reports and starting to socialize with our business users. So to be honest, like we have already built a lot of dashboards using DataZen, and we were looking forward for like incorporating that in SSRS 2016, given that product is now incorporated. So what mobile reports gives us the capability is the native mobile experience. So we can decide on what components that we need to see on the report, like whether when the users are trying to access it via the browser or using their tablet or using their mobile phones, because we can pick and choose like what we want to show in those visualizations. The responsive layout is the second key component of mobile reports. The next one is interacting with the reports even when we are disconnected. So most of our business users, sometimes they have to go and meet our customers, and they won't be connected with the internet all the time. So they still want the ability to get the data, load it in the dashboards, and still go and show it to our customers even in the disconnected mode. How do we do that is basically we import the data, which the previous DataZen product as well as the current mobile reports allows you to do. So the data gets imported, your dashboard is tied with the data, so your business users can take it to the customers, still show it without any issues at all in terms of connectivity. You can still keep it up to date in terms of, for that you need real-time connectivity. So you can still keep your dashboards up to date, connecting back to your data sets or your data warehouse, whichever it is. Or if you think like I don't need real-time connectivity, but I want to refresh my data at frequent intervals, still you will be able to do that with mobile reports. If you haven't tried mobile reports, I would definitely ask you to try that, because you will get to know the benefits right away when you build a dashboard using it, and it's really straightforward too. So in terms of the new charts, so what's new in SSRS 2016 in terms of charting capability? So they have introduced a couple of new charts, which is tree map and sunburst. So if you're looking at hierarchical data, and you could see the benefit of using these charts. So these are two new ones, but who knows, like the way Microsoft are releasing their updates, anything can come any day. And also like what they have done is, if you have used SSRS 2014, and you would have known about Report Builder product, which allows your business users to build their reports, and they have enhanced the Report Builder, and also the chart functionality inside that. So more around the look and feel and how it looks, rather than the functionality is more or less the same. So we are already trying and using some of the tree map and sunburst charts, and our business users are really happy about that. Great, report rendering features. So SSRS 2016 now allows you to export your reports in PowerPoint. And this is something like, they were supporting like previous products like Word, Excel, and PDF, and so on. But PowerPoint is something that they have included in the current version. And also like exporting to PDF, there is no more this annoying ActiveX control that you need to be installing. So they have got rid of that. So whichever browsers you are using, you're not tied with IE. So whichever browsers you are using, you can happily export it into PDF. And if you have the necessary plugins, you can open the PDF in whichever PDF client you have got on your machine. I like this one because ActiveX is annoying. Power BI integration. This is one more important feature why my organization and myself stressed them to go and start using SSRS. Power BI, like I think you have been to a lot of sessions in Ignite around Power BI. So it opens up a lot of opportunities in terms of visualizing the data and also giving the interactive capability and the power for our business users to slice and dice the data. And what it gives in terms of with reporting services, now you can integrate your Power BI reports. The first step that they have done early this year when they launched SSRS 2016 was you can upload your Power BI reports into SSRS portal. So previously, we were a bit reluctant to even tell about Power BI to our business users because we were worried whether it will become another set of Excel spreadsheets all over the network. So we were waiting for the announcement from Microsoft. And as soon as they said, like, OK, we have integrated Power BI, and you can load those reports inside your reporting services portal. You can apply the permissions over there, so you can secure it, so you have got better control around how you, like, more or less, we need a single source of the truth. We can't just say, like, OK, you can build your dashboards, and it's all over the place. And we worked hard, really, to find out a single source of the truth for our data. And we want to make sure, even in reporting, it reflects the same. I think with the recent, with the Ignite back in US, they announced about serving these Power BI reports within the browser itself. So when they released it back earlier this year, it's more on you need to have the Power BI desktop. So the portal allows you to upload your reports, but when you click on the report, it actually opens Power BI desktop. But with the recent announcement, basically you don't need Power BI desktop. It actually serves your Power BI report within the browser itself. And they have done an announcement at the past conference around it's available for us to use. So it was more around a preview back at the Ignite US. But as for yesterday's announcement, you can go and get your hands on. The next one is pinning your SSRS report to the Power BI dashboard. So if you have your Power BI portal, what you can do is you can pin your on-premises charts or graphs or anything that KPIs that you have got straight into the Power BI portals through SSRS itself. So that's a really good capability because this is what I really talked about, hybrid capability. So I do it once on premises and I can utilize it in the cloud without any issues or trying to recreate it again from scratch. How many of you have felt the annoying issue with these parameters? Yeah, me too. And so we had certain reports where we have like around 8 or 10 parameters, and the business will come and say, can you reorder the parameters? And can I have more than 2 or 3 parameters in the same row? I say, no. This is why we said, like, we won't use Microsoft products. There you go. So it was so nice to see, like, they have addressed this issue with 2016. So you have got much flexibility now in terms of where do you want to position your parameters. And you can have more than 2 parameters in a row, which is really cool. And you can organize the way how the parameters are laid out on your reporting screen. And it may sound simple, but these simple things are pretty much annoyance for our business users. Subscription improvements. Some of the things that they have looked at in terms of subscription improvements is enabling or disabling subscriptions. So it's straight out of the user interface now. You can just click a button and select the subscription that you want to enable or disable. Previously, we have to use T-SQL scripts in order to do this. And adding a subscription description, half of the time the subscription name doesn't make any sense. And if without description, it's so hard, especially if you're giving your business users access to create subscriptions. This is really handy because then we can allow them to put some description around what are they trying to put it as subscription. Changing a subscription owner, again, it wasn't really easy with SSRS 2014. You have to, again, do this through a T-SQL script, but now it's so easy. And I think we had this pain points predominantly when someone creates a subscription, leaves the organization. And we have to do a whole heap of cleanup, and now it's click of a button, really straightforward to do that. The other one is shared credentials for file shares. So sometimes like we create subscriptions or our business users do that, where the files we want to create, we want to put it on a file share. And each time we have to supply the credentials, which is pretty much annoying. And I don't know how many of you have tried that, like when we go and give them a subscription to our users and say like, okay, you can go and create it. And if you want to put it in the file system, make sure like you keep on putting your credentials every time when you create a subscription. And in some use cases, we actually use this feature, saying like when there is a request coming through and if you want to generate a CSV extract, you can use the subscription. And for them, it's say like, okay, but every time I have to put the username and password. Good that it has been addressed. There are a few more things which I would ask for feedback, and the thing is they are listening now. So it's an opportunity. If you have anything like this, then the way I try and do it is put it on the Power BI ideas forum, because as soon as you put it on Power BI, then probably they implement it in Power BI and then immediately also reflects in your on-premises version. Okay, so enough of sharing. So let us go and do some demo. So this is the new portal, and you could see the difference if you have used SSRS 2014. Like now it's resizable and it's responsive, which is pretty much cool. And your business users will love that. So as I mentioned before, you can create folders, which is previously you had the same feature in SSRS 2014 also. You can categorize them, create folders. So now they have segregated things into 3 different sections. You can define your KPIs. So for organizations, KPIs are really important measures, because when they look at the reports and things like what did we set as target for this year, so it's good to have these KPIs explicitly available on the dashboard so that they can look at it and compare how we are tracking against those KPIs. The next section is mobile reports, which we talked about. So it's more taking the reporting to the next level. That's what I would say mobile reports are. And so they have got something called as paginated reports here. Paginated reports are nothing but in whatever reports that we used to create in SSRS 2014. So in order to differentiate that report with the mobile reports, they just rename that to be called as paginated reports. The last one is the Power BI desktop reports. So here I have just uploaded a sample Power BI report that I have created, and here you go. So basically you can manage the permissions and everything of your Power BI report straight through this. So some cool features I like about is now I can pin and add my reports to my favorites. So if your business users are frequently trying to access certain set of reports, you can just say like add to my favorites, and then straight away go back here, and here is your report. So here the favorites can be, each and every user can have their own favorites. Great, mobile reports. I think if you have used DataZen before, predominantly it has got the DataZen functionality here, but what they have done is they have just incorporated in the SSRS 2016 portal. And yeah, so it's more interactive dashboards. So one thing to keep in mind is like currently I couldn't say you can have subscriptions for your DataZen reports, because these are mobile reports and predominantly for interactive dashboards. So if you're thinking about like, I have a report and I want to just send it as I need to create a subscription to be emailed to me every month or every week, then probably you should be looking for paginated report. Who knows, but I don't know whether it's in their roadmap, in Microsoft roadmap, that they will incorporate the subscription for these reports too. Great, so the next thing is around, so the different type of visualizations you can get. So in order to do these mobile reports, basically you need to have a client tool installed called the Reporting Services Mobile Publisher. So what it allows you to do is you can create these dashboards using the Mobile Report Publisher. And as I said, like you can decide on what elements that you want to have, whether you are creating a visualization for the browser, tablet, or the phone. So to give you an example, like going to the settings, layout itself. So if I go back to the tablet view, so here you have, let me show the comparison here. So in the master view, we have these two controls here. But if you decide like, okay, I want this on my browser view, but I don't need this on my tablet view, you can really decide on what you want to put it on your tablet view. So these two elements are not included when people are trying to access the same dashboard through your tablet. And same thing when it comes to mobile phones. Straight away, the map element is not there. So what we can do is for each and every layout, whether you are going to access it through the browser or through tablet or through the mobile, you can decide on what report elements that you want to show to them. So you can add the data through here, and if you have used a data zen before, predominantly it supports, you can connect to your analysis services, or you can connect to Excel spreadsheets or for importing the data, and or to your databases directly. So we have tried with the data zen analysis services as well as with the SQL Server, and it is pretty straightforward. It's not complex at all.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
We have like plenty of dashboard in SQL Server 2014 actually, and we are planning to move into 2016 now. How easy it is? Can we convert those reports into mobile-based reports? If we have already reports in 2014 and we are trying to convert it to 2016.
They don't have a tool for that right now. But what they have got is if you have built reports using DataZen, and they have actually provided you the conversion to 2016. So if you consider like yourself like you're talking about the paginated report back in 2014, so to convert it into mobile, like actually you have to redefine your components, because you will have a lot of report elements. Now you have to decide on like, okay, how it is going to look on a browser. So there is no tool at this stage to do that, to convert your existing 2014 paginated reports into 2016 mobile reports. But what they have got a tool is the DataZen Migration Assistant. What that tool allows you to do is, if you have used a DataZen to create your dashboard, and which we have done like nearly, I would say like around 30 to 35 dashboards that we have already got. So we were so lucky to see like, oh, okay, that is a migration assistant, because now we can easily port them into 2016. But I think there is a bit of thinking you need to do, like how you want to present that into a dashboard format. We don't, I think Microsoft doesn't have a tool currently. But it's a good question. So here you go. So this also, the publisher also allows you to do a preview like of your report, how it looks like. So this is just a phone view, because I had my layout here as a phone. So if I go back and say browser view, so then it gives you the browser view. This is how it looks on a browser. And the same thing is if you go back and choose your tablet view, and you could see like exactly what the visualization will, how it will look like when people are navigating it through a tablet. So that's with the SQL Server Mobile Report Publisher. Coming back to the next tool.
I just got one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of the mobile report publisher, what methodology normally you use in order to connect to the data sets, which is shared data set? Like, is it ID, or can we use the SQL type credential in order to connect to our data sets?
It's Active Directory. So, and also it supports ADFS too. So even when we connected through DataZen, because I think they have more or less incorporated that product. So with the DataZen, it is more around ADFS. And actually also it supports just Active Directory. So I don't think it supports just a SQL authentication, but I may be wrong, but for our best practices, it's always AD authentication. So I didn't look back around SQL authentication at all, but I can check back and put it on my blog. Yeah, but it supports AD. Sorry, is there any questions before I move on to report builder?
So this will incorporate multiple data sources, but with Power BI, if you connect into analysis services, you've only got one data source. So you can still connect, can you connect to analysis services and bring some other data in as well?
Yes, but I don't think you can do the type of, the modeling that you can do in Power BI. It doesn't do that. But what it allows you to do is you can still, from here, I can bring data from any of the sources. So what it allows you to do is like I can have a data from a spreadsheet as well as a data from different sets of analysis services. I can do that here, but what it doesn't allow you to do is start doing a relationship. Yeah, but if you want to do that type of relationship, then probably you need to get into Power BI. Yeah, it's okay. So the question was like, because we used to have two URLs, like one for report server and for the reports themselves, like whether in 2016 we still have both. The answer is yes. I haven't tried that, so I'm not going to say like I know about that, but I haven't tried that. I have to try it and I'll get back to you on that. Check my Twitter or blog, I'll respond to that question. So currently, so the question was more around like, yes, it supports both the URLs. What I showed you from the portal was like how can you add favorites if you're just navigating through the reports, not through the report server URL where you append all your parameters. So I'll go back and check that and put the response for that. Good question. Is any more questions on mobile reports before I jump on to the report builder? Great, even if you have questions, keep it for the end and I can answer that. Great, in terms of report builder, I think it's still the same. So nothing majorly has changed other than the look and feel of the report builder. And as I touched upon, like how you handle parameters and how you can place parameters. So I'm just, the main reason I'm showing all the client tools here, not Visual Studio, is whatever I'm showing here, it's all available in the Visual Studio version also. So I'm not going to go deep into the Visual Studio side of how do you create a report, SSRS report using Visual Studio. Nothing changed in that space. So great. So what it allows you to do is now you can create your parameters and you can organize your parameters. I hope I run this. Sorry, I didn't check this morning. If not, I'll run the report through the, not bad, it's running, doing something. So great. So this is just a typical, if you have used SSRS 2014, similar thing here, nothing fancy other than the new charts that has been added and the look and feel of that has been done. But what it allows is like Microsoft are releasing features, like it's not anymore like major products, let us wait for 2017 or 2018. So there will be new features released and there will be updates to Report Builder or the mobile publisher. We need to just, similar to Power BI currently. So if you have been using Power BI desktop, so every month they release an update and probably you install that and you get the new updates. I hope the similar strategy they will be following for this too. And so when there is a new feature or something that you will have a new version of the report builder. So the next one was more around the migration assistant. So this is the one I talked about. So if you have an existing data and dashboard, and if you're thinking about like, do I need to recreate this dashboard using mobile publisher again? The answer is no. You can use the migration assistant and it will automatically convert your existing data and dashboards into the 2016 compatible ones and straight away upload it to the portal. Great, so I talked about that. The next one I want to take you through is around Power BI. Great, while this is opening. So as I said, like Power BI, using Power BI desktops, it gives your business users a full of handiness in terms of they can be more creative. They can create a lot of visualizations, whatever they want to create. And it was quite interesting because I attended a session on Power BI visuals. So really looking forward to go back to my workplace and start creating some new visuals. So what it allows you to do is like you can create new visuals like previously if we say like I'm thinking about this chart which is supported in Excel spreadsheet, but I no longer have that in any of my reporting tools. Within Power BI, what you can do is you can create your own custom visual. and you can publish it and you can start using it. So you don't need to wait for Microsoft to do that for us. The other thing is also like they showed about the community gallery. So you have the Power BI visuals gallery. You can import any visuals that the community are creating, and which is good because now we can share and collaborate the visuals and across the board, and we can use it in our reports. So this is just a simple Power BI dashboard. So you can create these dashboards, and your users can be more creative about how do they create their dashboards and what type of visualizations they use. The good thing is once they have done this, probably they can get here and say upload, and they can decide on whichever particular PBIX file they want to upload, and it appears here. So what I just did was just click on this, and then it opens up. So this is what I was telling before. Like if you look at here, you need to have Power BI desktop. So if currently with this current release, you need to have that desktop component available on your laptops, or otherwise you won't be able to open Power BI reports. With the recent announcement, as I mentioned before, we no longer need that. Once they made it as a public release, it will open up within the browser. So we can get away trying to install Power BI desktop on everyone's desktop. And you can give it only for your super users because they need that.
But how does the licensing work in that one? Like if it's running in the browser, so would there be no licensing?
It's new currently, so I don't know about the licensing yet. But if I think personally, what it is going to be is because you are already will be tied with the SQL license because it's on premises. And so I'm hoping they're not going to charge us in additional because we are going to use it from an on-premises reporting perspective. Because already the portal and things are all tied with the SQL Server license.
For the business users to create their own reports, do they need special permissions roles or a ready-made role that we should grant them to proceed, or can they do reports straight away?
Yes, so a couple of things. If you give them the tool, so if they have access to the tool, then they can go ahead and create whatever dashboards or reports they want.
How about the underlying database, the source data? Do we need that recent reports?
Yes, so there are two. Sorry. So if the users want to create the reports, what level of permissions that we need to give for them? So for especially around the underlying data sources, isn't it? Yeah. So there are two. Okay, sorry. So there are two ways you can do that. One is like you can give as a per user. So you can say like, okay, I want this particular user to get access if you're using AD authentication. Or you can target it saying like, okay, I have a service account, and anything that users want to do, it always goes through this service account, which will access the tables I need to give access to. Or the third thing is, which I won't recommend because that's not best practice, is SQL authentication, but I won't recommend that.
The Power BI reports opening in the browser, does it retain the full features of Power BI, such as trophy visibility?
It's too early at this stage. I haven't played myself yet, but what I have seen is just a brief demo, what they did in the Ignite, sorry for that. So in the Ignite US video, it's just a glimpse. I get to see the glimpse, but I couldn't extensively see whether they support everything that they support on the online. But I'll give a try again with what they have done with the release yesterday. So, and then I'll put it on my blog. And of course, I have a blog. So make sure like any questions I haven't answered, like I'll go and put the responses on my blog. Any more questions? Great. So with the Power BI desktop, so that's a good functionality because it gives the power for your business users, but still also you can control and how you want to manage these dashboards within the SSRS portal. The next one is it also allows you to pin your charts or the components that you have got, KPIs, directly to your Power BI portal. Sorry, I couldn't demonstrate that today because I'm using multiple accounts for my online Power BI portal versus my reporting services environment. So basically what it allows you to do is, I can't show you working, but I can show you how it will work. So you can see the icon here. So pin to Power BI dashboard. So what it allows you to do is this report or the chart, which I have got. Let me go and give you a chart, which will serve faster. Okay, great. So while this is loading, so that's the pin to Power BI dashboard. When you click on that, currently it won't allow me to do it. Says your credentials are different, but it allows you to say like, okay, where do you want to publish the dashboard? In order for this icon to appear, first of all, you need to integrate your Power BI account with reporting services. So it's a simple process. If you go to your reporting services configuration manager, what it allows you to do is there is a section where you can say put your Power BI portal credentials, so which means you are actually tying your Power BI with your on-premises reporting services. Once you have done that, then you can see this icon. Sorry.
Could you have a data set table underneath it to show the values for that various representatives? So if I click on one of those particular areas, you can see straight away what the number of representatives is.
Okay, so the question was more on, so is that from a context of Power BI or?
You got the Power BI graph there. Could you have a table underneath that shows all the different labels with the values they have? You don't have to hover over each one to get the actual value.
Okay, I think you need to repeat the question for me, so because there are too many things in there.
You've got the graph.
Yeah.
Underneath the graph, could you have a table underneath? So a normal HTML table with all the labels beside it and the values that are representing?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
So the question was more around like if you upload or pin a particular report to a Power BI dashboard, provided the report not just having the chart, but also the relevant table related to that, attached to that, yes, you can.
Does that form part of the model then?
Sorry?
Does that form part of the model of wherever you're putting it? So can you relate it to whatever's in Power BI as well?
No, I haven't tried that. So the question was more around like when you put this data, probably when you upload it to Power BI, can you take this data set and relate it to an existing Power BI data set? I haven't tried that, but I'm not sure whether it's already available. I'm still doubting it. Just to answer your question back, there are some restrictions in around what are the things that you can pin to the Power BI portal. So not every component that we see or available can be pinned. For instance, the mobile reports is another one. I couldn't see a way that you can, if you go back to the, so there you go, there is no pinning to Power BI at all. And saying that, it doesn't mean it won't appear. So it's not there now, but it may appear anytime. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, for instance, like since Microsoft announced about DataZen and SSRS 2016, predominantly I'm following their blogs extensively just to see, because the updates are coming in a rapid pace, so you need to really keep up with that. The main reason for that is I may go and tell my business users like this feature is not available today, but then within a week it will be available. So I would recommend like keep following those blogs, because it's really important like you keep up to date with that. Otherwise your business users will end up saying, Microsoft product doesn't have this feature, let us go for Tableau or some other tool.
All these features are available in standard edition, or is just a specific enterprise edition?
Good question. Yeah. I think when they released DataZen, it is part of Enterprise Edition. So it wasn't there as part of the standard edition. But I'm not sure about this licensing, because I took it for granted because we were on Enterprise Edition. So, but I'll find the answer for you from a Microsoft person and get about the licensing, whether what's available in standard edition. Thanks for that. But for Enterprise, it's out of the box. Yeah.
So a bit of detail into data sources, which I think we didn't cover in this section. I have a question related to that.
Yeah.
So historically, earlier, because we had a repaginated approach in 2014, the data sources used to show me the data was just used by them.
Yeah.
Now that we've got multiple flavors of reports, like the mobile reports and Power BI reports, what will the data sources now show? Will it be the data sources for the collection, or is it going to be the data sources for the paginated reports or data sources?
So the question was more around whether we can share the data sources between paginated reports and mobile reports.
More about what is visible in our reporting.
Okay, so what's visible is more around the paginated reports data sources, because the mobile reports one, either you will be connecting to your analysis services, or it will be embedded as part of the mobile report itself. Yeah, that's correct. So with Power BI, it's the same thing, because you will be importing your data straight into your Power BI dashboard, or you'll be using analysis services to connect to that. Sorry, couldn't.
So my second question was around whether we reuse the data sources across multiple types of reports, or looks like we can't, right?
No, not at this stage, yeah.
Could you show and hide those KPIs based off corporate criteria? So that way, so using a McDonald's as an individual report, so with the key figure they care about, show that the report's below a certain threshold?
Yes, I think currently the visibility for KPIs, it's more around like whether it exits or not. But I don't think you can conditionally show or hide at this point. But it's more around you can just show like, okay, if it is exceeding or below or the same, then you can show that with the colors, yeah.
Can you on-click on a mobile report, pass some parameters, say, to a normal 2014 report?
Yes, so which we have tried doing with the DataZen itself. So one of the requests we had was because we were using two different products at that time. So DataZen is a separate portal, has its own separate portal, and we had reporting services having its own portal. And if you look at DataZen, it's pretty much good if you are looking for executive type of dashboards. But sometimes we deal with a lot of volume of data, and they want to get down to the granular level of the data. And what we decided to do was we build the executive level dashboards and give them the ability to drill down from that dashboard all the way to the SSRS report. In that scenario, if they have already decided on certain parameters, like for instance, you can set the dates or you can set various different parameters at your dashboard level, you can easily pass that through your SSRS report. Yes, and that's something that you can do with DataZen currently itself. You don't need to wait until SSRS 2016, but they have, because that's already available, definitely that functionality is in 2016. Yeah.
If you're on shared current reporting services in integrated mode, has anything changed as the KZ visualization is available?
I don't think it's available at integration mode, SharePoint integration mode. Yeah, I think it's more from the native mode, yeah. But again, saying that, what's the space? Great, so I'll keep moving on. Keep asking me questions because I'm discovering a few things which I need to go back and check. Great. So this one we briefly talked about in terms of the tools. So you have your mobile publisher. Again, you need to give this to your business users, especially if they are going to build dashboards and things using for mobile. So predominantly mobile publisher relates to the mobile reports that they want to create. Report builder, it's for the paginated reports. As I said before, nothing majorly changed apart from the look and feel and the types of charts around, and also about the parameters. DataZen Migration Assistant, you need to have this tool if you have got existing DataZen dashboards. Sorry, go ahead.
SQL Server data tools. And at the moment we're on 2008, we use this Intelligence Studio to manage our report portfolio. Do you use SQL Server data tools to actually manage your whole report portfolio, things like paginated reports?
Yes, so yeah, you can do that also. So what you can do is you can create your paginated reports using your SQL Server data tools. It's supported in 2016, and they have released the data tools for Visual Studio 2015. Yeah.
Is there any way of showing your charts and your dashboards on the external website?
Ah, okay. Power BI portal is one way. The other thing is like there will be some sort of licensing implication. So I'm not going to say that because I don't know. So I don't work for Microsoft. So maybe it's worthwhile to check with Microsoft before trying to do that, because yes, there will be some sort of licensing implications. Because on premises you can predominantly use it as like with enterprise license, there is no restriction. I'm not committing anything here. You need to check with Microsoft. I'll be happy because I'm a customer. So of course, if they give me like for the same sort of licensing, I can use it for online. But that's a good question, because that's one of the questions that I used to get from my business users already. So he's saying like, we love these reports, we love these dashboards. How do I put it in front of the customers? So, and I say like, okay, Power BI. Yeah, that's the next one to look for. And unfortunately, I think they didn't cover much in that session. So they took more time with the Power BI visuals. And Power BI embedded is something, it's pretty cool. So what it allows you to do is you can embed Power BI reports within your applications. So if you're building a web application or something, and if you have to do operational reporting, you want to provide operational reporting capability. Sorry, I don't want to turn this session into a Power BI session. But so I'll just so what you can do is basically you can create your Power BI report and actually embed that into your web application. So again, licensing need to be checked because I'm not sure what is the licensing involved. So there will be some sessions around Power BI still, or you can check the recorded ones. And if you're based in Wellington, in December I'm planning to give a session on Power BI embedded, so at the .NET user group. So if you're interested, come over there, and predominantly you can learn about how to use Power BI embedded in your applications. Got a lot of questions around licensing though. But to say, to be honest, like yes, there is a portion of the licensing cost, but you need to think about licensing from not from a short-term benefit, it's about a long-term. So it's about what products you're using, like the backend and stuff. Like if you're using SQL Server already, just start thinking about like, okay, it's good to leverage a common set of tools unless and until there is a real need for why are we going to deviate for something else. And saying that you need to be conscious of your business users' needs. And that's what my next slide is more about. So making your users to adopt reporting services, it's not easy. So in my organization too, like when I went and told like we should be starting to use SSRS, the first thing saying like it can't meet all our features that we are looking for. So what we predominantly said is like, okay, what are the features you're looking for? Because that's where I started, because half of the time, whether I have realized they haven't been exposed to the features which SSRS was supporting. I think that's where I need to give some comments to Microsoft is saying you need to do a bit more marketing, like the other vendors are doing really good in that space. So what I had to do is try and understand what are the features they are looking for, and probably just go back and present to them saying, okay, these are the features you are looking for, this is what is supported by reporting services, and these are the features are not supported by reporting services, and then start asking them the question around like how important are those features for them. So if they are okay, because we applied a 80-20 rule. So if 80% of the features are covered by SSRS, why do we need to go and buy another tool and start spending on the licensing? And so that's the approach we used, and it really worked. And half of the time, we didn't know like we could do this in reporting services. That's the answer I was hearing from our business users. So that's what I would recommend. So go and understand your business users' problems. What are the features that they are looking for? And then do a comparison with the product set that you have got, and especially with SSRS. And the really interesting thing that they asked in my business is, can I change colors? So so you may think it's simple, but I know like for the past couple of years, there are certain features which they are looking for. If we couldn't do it, probably they will be looking for another product. So colors was one thing, and the other one was like, I need a line chart over a bar chart. So when we went for data zen, that's one of the things they said, like it can't do line chart over a bar chart. But reporting services could do that. So it's just looking at finding out their features and then start doing some sort of comparison and taking it back to them, because the users are understandable too, but you need to approach them from trying to understand what their problems are, rather than just saying to them you have to use SSRS. So with mobile reports, one thing it offers for your business users is around the design first approach. So you don't need to have your data. So if you're thinking about, we are building a warehouse, it takes time, so we are not going to give anything to our business, because you can do this in side by side. So what the new mobile reports allows you to do is you can mock the data. So you don't need to wait until you connect to the warehouse. Like we used some of this to understand what type of visualizations we need to put in our mobile reports, we sat with our business users, we started mocking the data and creating the visualizations, and when the warehouse is ready, then probably it was easy for us to tie them together. So that's one of the things I would recommend, start doing it, because mobile reports allows you to start as a nice prototyping tool. So make your users to start using KPIs, because now they can really get a good emphasis and visualizations around KPIs, and just to make them to start utilizing it. The last one is Power BI apps. So now you can, like, you have Power BI apps for iOS, Android, and Windows, like not Windows Phone, it's your Surface. So what it allows you to do is you can still access your SSRS reports through those Power BI apps. So which means like it takes it, so people can take these reports even though it is an SSRS report. If they are connected to your network, probably they can access it. Or if they are connected to Power BI, because now you can pin these reports into Power BI, that just expands the capability. I think we have been doing this throughout the session. Still, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take, but for the questions I haven't answered, I'll answer it once I get the proper answers for them and put it on my blog. So do we have?
Very easy to change the layout on the front. I made it, but we haven't showed it live. How easy it is actually, change those things on the fly.
It is good question because I missed it. So what it allows you to do is, for instance, if you want to change the branding, you can go into the site settings. So you can click on branding. So you can upload. So this is actually, if you have used DataZen, probably it's a similar thing. So there is a zip file, and the zip file consists of 3 files within it. I'll just show you what it is. But you need to just select them, and there you go. So the branding gets automatically applied to your reports. The same thing with mobile reports, because the mobile reports also, like, you can use the same branding, apply it through your mobile publisher. Example here is, so here it chooses the palette. So similarly, what we have designed is a color palette for our enterprise. So then we can choose our enterprise color palette, and it automatically applies to all the dashboards.
So is there any samples in terms of those templates available, like different type of files it consists of, like those?
Yes, I'll put, as part of publishing this, I'll also include the URLs where you can get those sample files, like the zip file, and there are examples on how to actually change it. No, that's fine. It's just a JSON file. And if you look at that, there is a list of RGB colors, like hexadecimal stuff you can apply. And also, like, there is a logo file where you can change the logo of that. For instance, this one was showing Xbox. And similarly, you can have your company logo. So it's much better than 2014, where it allows you to apply the branding and customize it. Great.